Hey rollers, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, thank you for joining us today. So let's see, we're going to be doing a few Easter and spring DIYs for today, but to get started I'm going to work on this chipboard. Now this is a Cricut brand, obviously you know, but it's the 1.5 millimeter. I think they still sell this one. I bought this a few years ago, many moons ago, when it was on clearance. I want to say Joanne. So these are the little designs that this comes in, and I'll show you so that you guys can get a better view of it instead of the little thumbnail pics. So one of the things that I didn't notice is I did not know that these were double-sided. I had bought these and never opened it. So here's, so what is this one called? They all might have, I want to keep calling them damask. Is that what this one is? Damask. Is that how you say it, guys? Because I'm not sure. Some of the words in English to me are a little harder to enunciate than others. I don't know if I said it before on here, but it's not my English is not my first language. So if I say certain words, just run with me. So anyway, this is one of the designs, and I bring it to your attention about it being double-sided because when I usually cut wood on my maker, I usually go with doing it mirrored, because in the event that it catches or cuts wrong, then I can just as easy, since it's on the reverse side, it won't mess up the front of the design. So if you do cut wood, or if you're thinking about it, and it catches or it's messed up with your wheel, just try to go into, just mirror it like you would with HTV and cut it in the back. But I was gonna do that, and then when I pulled this out, I realized, well, I guess it really doesn't even matter because this one is already double-sided. So look how pretty these are. So anyway, I think it's what, 6 designs in here, I want to say. Like I said, I bought these, oh, it's 5 of them, a long time ago and never even touched them. And they come in, I think, another design. But anyway, so this is the one that I used. And my goal was that I was going to do some eggs. Now this is one of the wood pieces that had a starfish. It's from Dollar Tree, from the nautical line, I want to call it. So all I did was cut off the head piece that has the little starfish on it, and then I sanded it down just a little bit because I just wanted it to match the edging and also to match this design. Now I left mine on my mat just so you guys can see how I cut it. Okay, so now that is out of the way, what I was going to show you is when you want to use your strong grip mat, of course, tape it down. I use my purple tape, which has a low tap to it, but is strong enough to hold your wood piece or your chipboard down well enough for you to cut. Now, when I was cutting mine, it said that it was going to do, I want to say 12 passes. When you're doing this, don't walk away from your design, from your machine. I'm just going to remove this tape very carefully, because I started realizing around pass number 4 that I wasn't going to need all 12 passes, because if you let it go all 12 passes, what's going to end up happening is going to cut right into your mat, and then you're going to be stuck having to buy a new mat. And for most of us, that's not something we want to do unnecessarily. All right, so what I ended up doing is I paused my machine at around pass 4, and I checked to see, just like this, to see if it was good, and it still wasn't. So I went through and I let it go. I want to say 2 more passes. Yes, I only did half the passes. It did 6 passes. I paused it again, and I checked, and I just used one of my, this thing, I always forget what it's called, weeding tools, and then I just pulled it. I lifted it enough and it was good to go, and I was done. I went ahead and just unloaded the mat. So let's take this off, and then we can just reuse the rest as for another project. So that is the reason I left this. I left my chipboard on here so that you guys can see what how I did mine. All right, so let's put our mat away and get these on there. Now, this didn't cut all the way through, so I'm gonna grab my knife. And then I need to grab my mat so that I don't cut into my glass. All right, so let's go ahead and cut through this. Let's see, where was it? It's just around here. And it's okay that I didn't cut through. Just gonna use our True Control knife and finish the cutting process. I'd rather do it this way instead of my mat getting destroyed. And it's almost there. Anyway, so like I was saying, this does come in plain chipboard. If you wanted to recreate this and not use something as busy as this design, you very much could. I had a hard time trying to pick which one I wanted to use. But, so to shape the eggs, all I did was I grabbed the design. Honestly, I think it was from Design Space. And I just contoured out the design that was in it because I just wanted a simple egg, nothing too fancy. And I just contoured out the areas that I didn't want inside the design. And once I got what I wanted, I sized it to fit exactly how I wanted it. And then that was pretty much it. Very simple. And then I made sure that I picked chipboard. And since it's a Cricut material, it goes on there very, very easily. So let's see. I was originally going to do 6 of these, but then when I was looking at it, I was like, that seems a bit much. I don't want this to be very busy because the design is already kind of busy, right? And I didn't want anything on the sides because what I'm going to end up doing is standing this up. So I didn't want any words or anything on there. I just wanted the Easter eggs. And I wanted a reason to use my chipboards. So let's see, this is about 18 inches and a quarter. Let me make sure, you guys. Let me see, 18 and a quarter. Yeah, I did it about right. So let me see if I can get the measurements exactly where I want. Then we can go from there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do a quick line so I can know where everything is gonna go, because y'all know my alignment is not always where it needs to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to use some hot glue and some wood glue to put these in place. And I probably should have left this there just in case I go off a little bit. See what I mean? Something crazy always happens to me. All right, I think, did I get it in there? All right, let's fix that back. Let's get that in there, and then what we're gonna do is gonna put this right back just so that I make sure that it's still straight and aligned. And see, this one went off kilter. All right, so we are going to still use both hot glue and wood glue, only because I like the way wood glue adheres to my wood, hence wood glue, no pun intended. And then let's get this going. And then I'm just going to use the hot glue just to get the immediate hold that I need so that I can keep working. Now, if you've not done this before, don't get them mixed in together because they pretty much will cancel each other out. Now, I don't use just wood glue because I work kind of slow and I need to be able to move things around if I make a mistake. And wood glue just doesn't give you that, not wood glue, hot glue doesn't give me that opportunity to fix my alignment, my adjustment. Okay. Now let's get this one on. I'm gonna have to puncture a hole in here real quickly because it is really hard. Now this little glue gadget, I got it on Amazon a couple years ago, and it really does help. And I don't think I refilled it. Maybe once? I don't know. Maybe. I think once. But it does help with your glue. Now you can change the tip of this as well. So if you use a lot of wood glue, I would recommend this. Mine is not cooperating very much today, but what else is new? Okay. So with the time change today, how many of you guys have a struggle getting into back into your routine? Because the first week, at least, not necessarily the first day or so, but just that first week for me can be a bit of a hassle. But yes, that first week. So today's just the first day, but man, I had a hard time getting my kids up for work, for kids work, and then just getting out and about. Had to get stronger coffee than usual. And it feels like the day goes by so much faster than I'm used to. All right, let me put this down. Okay. My daughter missed the bus, so I had to drive her to work. Luckily, the school's only a couple minutes away, and there wasn't a long line this morning, so we made it, but it was rough this morning. One kid was in a bad mood because of the time change and not enough sleep. I don't even know, but chaos was all over my house for no apparent reason besides that. Okay, I think this is good. This is where we're at right now. And then I wanted to kind of sit leaned this way. Hold on. This little spider string. I wanted to lean not straight up, but kind of at an angle, maybe. Let's see. No, I think I wanted to lean slanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Jenga blocks. And I think it's about time that I refilled this bag. And just FYI, the blocks don't come in this darker tone. I did them in a coffee stain method because I wanted to test them out. And this was a couple years ago. And sometimes you can still smell the coffee grinds in them. So if you've never tried that, it's an interesting method. It definitely is very interesting. When I first did it, I was like, I didn't know if I was supposed to leave it longer to get the darker tone, but no matter how long I left it, it wasn't quite as dark as I intended it to be. But then I was actually shocked that it smelled so much like coffee afterwards. I gotta put some more. I gotta put some hot glue back here because it is not wanting to sit. I think it's canceling itself out. The hot glue with the wood glue, when you mix them up together, it'll cancel each other out. And I'm wondering if I did that by accident earlier. Okay, and that might have been why this one was lifting, but I think we got it this time. I guess you'll see the pencil marks, but that's okay. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, it was an interesting process, but I actually had fun doing it. Now I gotta figure out, do I want to, yeah, I think I'm gonna lean them this way. Real life crafting, so didn't like that, the way that looked. So let's change it up a little bit. Is this one gonna come off for me? No. Oh, there it goes. All right. Oh, I broke it. This is the one that came from DT as well, so it's easy to replace. So for these little tasks that are non-Cricut relating things, I just use this because it's okay, it's easier to replace. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna switch this around and we're going to do it this way. See if I like that better. And then go there. All right. Well, it's more straight than I wanted it to be, and it's gonna be okay. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna leave it like it is, and we are going to put something in the front of it anyway. So I think it looks really nice. I actually like the simplicity of it. There's no words on it in today's craft. It's simple, you guys can't see it. The front, there it is. What I'll probably do for decor, I'll have a tassel that has multicolored beads on it in front of it. I'll grab some beads and show you guys what I mean by that. So to stage it, what I mean is I'll probably just run these beads in front of it somehow, some way, I don't know. But that's my idea about this. I bought this from a thrift store a while ago. I never even bothered to use it, but I have other stuff in front of it, and then if I want to, I can always use, actually that would look nice if I lift it up like that. But anyway, but that's the first one, and we are done with this one. So let's go ahead and clean up and get ready for our second one. All right, I have got this frame. It's a galvanized frame that I got from Wally World 4 years ago, 2020, almost 4 years ago. So I don't know if they still have this one precisely, but they might have a very similar one. This one was $5. But when I went to pull this out to decide what I was going to do with it, I actually realized when I went to take the measurements that it comes out. So just like a picture frame. So what we're actually going to end up doing is we can just lift these tabs up and then make our work a little bit easier. Okay. There. Now I will put this back in here when I have my design weeded, just on top of it, just so that I can make sure that everything is centered. Well, so that it's centered inside the frame exactly how I need it to be. So let's go ahead and weed our design. Set this to the side and grab our weeding tool. Now this is one of what is this, Hobby Lobby's HTVs. It's the low temp one that I had in my haul. So this is $2.65 for 5 seconds. I need to look up the design because I don't remember, and I think I'm pulling it up wrong. Hold on a second. All right, I'm almost starting to think that this did not cut well at all. And I've never used this one before. And I can barely see the lines, which is not a problem, but I'm trying to pull it. I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to just recut it, because I'm looking at the design and okay, let's see if I let this go. See what I mean? It doesn't look like. All right, let me focus and then we'll get back. Oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna recut this because this is not. Yeah, let me go and recut this because this. Wow. Okay. Nothing cut out the way I expected it to. So I'm gonna pull out the same vinyl, the same HTV, and we're just gonna recut it with more pressure and then go from there. Okay, so I've recut the design. Now let's see. Let me throw this one to the side. Now I did it on more pressure, and let's see if I can get it to read this time. Like I said, I've never actually used this HTV. I picked it up because I wanted to test out whether or not, in fact, you can do lower temp, like it states on there, and the less time. So, but what I'm finding is I'm wondering if I'm gonna have to use my light box, because this pink is really hard to see the cut lines. Okay, so I have my heat press on, ready to go. This is Cricut's 9x9, if I'm not mistaken. So I have it at 265 for 5 seconds. That's the recommended temperature for this. And here's my blank. What I am going to do is I'm just going to grab a paper towel, and I'm just gonna use water. I don't want to use alcohol because galvanized material, galvanized surface can be a little tricky to work with, and I don't want the surface to be irritated, I guess you can say, with the alcohol. So I'm just going to prep it with water instead of with alcohol, because I don't want it to get damaged or anything like that. But if you want to use alcohol to prep yours, that's perfectly fine as well. But the water for me is going to do just as good of a job. So now that we've gotten that done, waiting for my heat press to work, I had originally pulled out the smaller one, but I realized this is a pretty, I think this is an 8.5. All right, so now that's ready. So I decided to just pull out the bigger one so that I could just do one press and be done. All right, so I'm gonna grab this surface is actually pretty sticky, so I'm gonna put this in here just so that I can have an idea of how the layout is going to sit, so I can make sure that I'm centering it exactly where I want it to be. All right. Trying to figure out. Okay, that's good. So let's go ahead, place this in here, and that's not. Just want to get it. That's crooked, so it's messing with my eyes. And I just made it even worse. Oh my gosh. Let's grab my cutter. And then let's make this actually straight, because last thing I want is any more crooked than it has to be, because you guys know I'm crooked by nature, so we don't want any more help than we have to be. Okay, that is so much better, because goodness gracious, girl, what in the world were you just cutting? Okay. Yeah, and see, the side is crooked, the side is all cut, jacked up. Listen here, I tell my kids and anybody else that don't rely on me to cut anything in a straight line. I do not know how to use scissors properly. I was not trained for that. So that's my justification. And I'm always going to stick to that story. I'm just angling it up so I can make sure. I'm not going to fuss with it too much because it's going to have to be okay at this point. Okay. And from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and press it. I am going to grab a Teflon sheet. One that I know is going to fit this. Now, you don't have to put a Teflon sheet because the carrier sheet is going to be just fine. But I prefer Teflon sheets only because this one's too big. Only because for me, I find that the Teflon sheet definitely helps to keep my project from overheating, over melting. Is that a word? Is that the way? It's over melting, overheating. I don't know. It keeps the temperature perfect on the project that I'm working on. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. And I think I'm gonna have to do, see, I was trying to avoid doing 2 sessions, but we're gonna have to do it anyway. All right, fingers crossed. I'm applying some pressure on it. It doesn't say, but we're gonna do that anyway. It always seems like it's too fast. 5 seconds? I can tell that didn't get any heat. That didn't get enough heat. So we're gonna apply. I think I probably should have put it in my heat press, but I didn't want to because I wanted you guys, if you only had one of the easy presses, to know whether or not you can use this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let it cool because it's hot. I should have grabbed my heat gloves. All right, so let's let it cool and see what happens. Got my heat gloves. Okay, so that cooled really quickly because it's on my glass mat. Now I don't remember if this was supposed to be a cool peel, warm peel, or any kind of peel, but we are going to test it and see how it does. And that side didn't get enough. And let's see this side. No. No. I think it's a cold, ice cold peel. But I am going to run it again because it definitely needs a lot of pressure. Even though it seems to work, but it definitely is one of those things, if you're going to try this, a lot of pressure. Yeah, so let me do it, and I think I'm gonna just bump it up to 10 seconds because I can't. It's just 5 seconds, it goes by, you blink and it's over. So let's grab my Teflon sheet again, and then we are going to do just this side. Okay. And I'm pushing down. I mean, like really pushing down on this. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn it around, and then we're gonna do the opposite side. Would work better if it was like a hot peel. You know what? You never know, right? I think it's not a warm peel. I mean, cold peel. It's definitely more of a, wow. It's definitely a warmer peel. I think it works better as a warm peel because it seems to come off better. So just be careful if you want to try this HTV. I personally will just use it because I have it now and I want to get it out of my craft room. Now, if you've used it before, please tell me what I've done wrong, because and if I'm gonna actually, I think what I'm gonna do is in the future, I'll just put it in my big heat press because I think it requires a lot of pressure. And actually, I'm gonna run it in my big heat press and then get back with you guys on that. And I'll just do that here in a little bit and then give you my honest opinion. I don't think it works well with a smaller heat press like that. So I'm gonna redo this in a, run it on my big heat press, and then I'll definitely get back with you guys in just a little bit. Let me run this in because it's done, but I want to see now if it's going to really stick with that bigger heat press, because I think it requires, for that 5 seconds, it would require a lot of pressure that I'm not able to give it manually. So let me go ahead and do that and get back with you guys. Definitely, if you have a big heat press, I would recommend you using that because it gave me no problems whatsoever. Look how beautifully it toasted up. The cook time is perfect. The pressure was perfect. I had no issues. One time press and it was done. But if you do have just one of these Cricut ones, I would say just bypass the 5 second rule, or even just go up in your temperature and just go from there, because definitely the 5 seconds isn't enough for these Cricut versions. And just go up and do your HTV that way, because with these it doesn't have enough pressure to go with this brand HTV, but it does look very, very nicely. So we'll go ahead and let this cool off, and then we'll go ahead and assemble it back up and then finish this project up. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. So let's flip this over, and I'm just gonna put this right back in. So this is probably the easiest part of this project. Now, like I said earlier, let me know what you guys think in the comment about this HTV. And what I would say is, like I said earlier too, is definitely use the standard 300 and what do we do, 320 degrees for 10 seconds, I think, 15 to 20 seconds. If you're using your Cricut Easy Press, because the 5 seconds for 260, the temp of 265 for 5 seconds is not going to work on with the Easy Press. It doesn't have enough pressure for this type of HTV. I do have a couple other projects that I'm going to be testing this on, so we can try it again. But definitely use either a big press or just use your standard time and temp is what I would definitely recommend. Okay, so that's done. Make sure that I put this on in the right order, right position. And now that's it. It did come out very pretty. I love the vibrancy of it, this pretty bright pink. It is absolutely beautiful for spring and Easter. I think it kind of looks crooked, but it could just be my eyes. All right, so let's go ahead and put this one away. And let's go ahead and do our next project. All right, so let's take a little break from both vinyl, HTV, all of that for a little bit. All right, so this piece, these two pieces actually, I got them from both Hobby Lobby. They're part of my recent haul that I uploaded not too long ago. And I grabbed this one and I did the front and back, 2 coats of it. And I used Waverly chalk paint in, I believe it was Lagoon. I'm pretty sure I used Lagoon. And then I went in and sealed it with Minwax Hellsman clear semi-gloss. Now this is not going outside, so you don't have to seal it. I just prefer the look of it when it's sealed and the feel of it. It just feels less chalky for my touch. That's the only reason I sealed it. So that's a personal preference. And I'm gonna leave this bunny head ear thing beaded piece natural tone, and I thought about sealing it as well, but since I don't have any intentions of taking it and putting it outside, I decided I was not going to even seal it. So this is called the Bead Bunny Decor. That's all it was called, and it's part of the Easter crafts. So this was $9.99, but it was 40% off. And this one is part of their wood section at Hobby Lobby, so just wait until it goes on sale. I think it's usually 40% off, and then it's a whole lot cheaper. It runs about $8 versus the whatever it's usually at. I don't remember the price anymore. So what my plan is that I am going to glue this down in here, and I've been trying to decide if I want to put ribbon somewhere here, and I was consulting my 9-year-old about my idea. And she's like, well, you're planning on making a girl bunny? And I was like, yeah, that was my idea. And she was like, well, no, just leave it as it is. Then I thought about, well, maybe if I went and got another piece that said something like Easter in here, I nixed that idea as well. So I've been conflicted about what to do with this, but I think I'm finally, because from the very beginning, I just wanted it to be very simple. No words, no nothing, just leave it as it is. So I'm just going to use this clear tacky Eileen's. Eileen has really good glue. Normally I use the other glue, but we're going to try this glue today. So I'm going to figure out, I want it right about here. It's not really going to make much of a difference because I'm going to add a hanger to the back of it, and my hanger is going to be based on where the ears are at the moment. So what we're going to do is, let's see, I'm just going to put the glue on, and then we're just going to kind of flip it over, I think. Wait, let me see, because I haven't used this one, so okay, it's good. All right, so I'm probably going to have to put something, let's see if I can bend this. That might not be a good idea. Gonna leave it intact. So what we're gonna do, let's see. Thought about flipping it over, but I think I'm just gonna add the glue. Yeah, I'm gonna flip it over. See, the thing with crafting is you think you're gonna do one thing, and then you end up changing your mind. Now, of course, you can use hot glue if that's your inclination, but I don't want to work as fast as hot glue doesn't let me work slower, so that's why I'm using this. But you can also use wood glue. Just do whatever makes your heart happy and gives you cheers, makes you giddy with joy. That's all crafting is supposed to be anyway. Okay, and I'm gonna add some up here in the ears, and then what we're gonna do is probably just lay something on here just to give it some weight to make it glue down. Now this is supposed to dry clear, so we're testing this glue brand new together. So now if you've used this glue before, tell me. the clear version because I've used the regular one that we can find at DT. So I don't want to pick up. Okay, now let's flip it over. It's funny, I'm pretty sure there was an easier way to do this, but we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Now I'm gonna lay something down on it. You guys know I always have books as my standard weights. Because what better things, right? I wonder if I open it, that'll give me just as much weight on one side. No, maybe not. No, it's not the same. Let's just do it this way. Let's not break what's not broken. I need to turn this head, this bead around, because the glue is turned around. Change of plans. Let's see if this works. I think so. And it's much heavier than my books. Okay. Perfect. Now let's just let it dry and then we'll come right back to it. All right, so let's go ahead and check. It should be all ready to go. And put this to the side. Yes, it is all set. There's some higher spots right here that could be sitting down, but I think for the most part, it did a good job. We're good. So what I'm going to do now is work on our hanger piece. So I have two options. I have this cord. I'm not sure where I got this from, guys. I want to say it's one of the ones from the Dollar Tree, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure, so we're just gonna wing it. But when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't know if it's gonna work. Then you have this one. This one is one of the wired ones that you can get. I want to say it's from the floral section, and it's, like I said, it's wired. You can also do this one. So what I want to see is which one that I like. But what you can also do, if you I'm going to use my Surebinder stapler gun. In this one I have shorter staple nails in here, and I don't know the size of this anymore, of which staples are in here anymore. Let's see if I can tell. No, I can't. But because I have, and the reason why I say this one is labeled with shorter ones is because I have two of them. So one has longer nails than what's in here. And that's the only way I can tell the difference between that. The one not switching back and forth between nails. And then you can also use this tape. It's very, very strong. It's a packaging tape, but it is extremely strong. I've used this before to do my hangers on. You can always use in conjunction with this. It is perfect. So I want to see which idea I like better, and I kind of think I might end up using this one, because this is this works really well, because even though it's thinner. Let's put this here just so I can get an idea of what I like. So I'm going to cue some music while I think about my decision. Let's see, I think I'm just gonna go with this one. And if at the end of the day I don't like it, I can take those staples out and we can be done. But we'll just use this for another project another day. I think this is just a bit much for my taste for now, and we're not going to use it. And I'm hoping that the staples that I picked out are going to be okay for this. And I just need just enough to do this project with. And then I'm just going to cut off whatever I don't need. Okay. Now, you don't have to use either one of these. You are more than welcome to just use a heat gun, not a heat gun, a hot glue gun for this. For this part, it'll do the job just as well. I'm just being a little extra. Okay. Let me make sure it didn't go all the way through my wood. I wanted to. So I gotta be very careful on that one. It's a bit much for that. So I think I'm actually not gonna use my staple gun. I'm actually gonna switch to tape because I don't want it to damage this anymore. And if I had used a longer one, we would have a real problem. So what we're gonna do is grab this. This is a brand new roll. So good thing I had already grabbed that. And this is just gonna go right about there. I'm gonna take it off screen just for a second. Maybe. I just need this to hold that for me for a minute. Actually, I don't need that much on one piece. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add tape to this one as well, to this side. This stuff is super sticky. If you haven't used it, and then I got this one from the Dollar Tree, so if you want to give it a try, it's in their office area by where they do their shipping section. So if you wanted to give it a try, because you're not sure, it's right there in that area. So let me do a bit more than I wanted to grab. But it is really, really strong. And it's not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to hold this down. And this side as well. There. And that should be it. There we go. I think this came out really pretty. It's very simple. There's nothing, no words on it. It's a simple design. Just hang it up and it'll stay out all summer. I mean, not all summer, through Easter and most of spring, because it's a very elegant and simple design. So let me know what you guys think about this one. If you guys think I should add a word on here, like a wooden word Easter or hop, or just use my Cricut to put something else on here, maybe some eggs, but it's okay. I can probably do that. I'll probably just use a little bit of touch-up paint and fix this one, but other than that, or I could put something else right here to just hide that away. But I think where I'm gonna put it, you won't even be able to notice it because it's not noticeable. Good thing I painted it so it's really not noticeable. All right, guys, I'm gonna put this up and then let's go ahead and start with our next DIY. All right, so I've got another blank. This one I got from Michael's recently. So let me just wipe it off. I'm not gonna clean it with alcohol or nothing like that. Just gonna brush it out because it's pre-painted and I didn't want to paint it, to be honest with you guys. I was feeling lazy and I liked it just the way it is. And yeah, we'll be honest with each other. I was just lazy. I didn't want to do anything else. All right, so I've got a layering project and let me cut off this little piece right here. And so based on the other project that we was working on earlier, I'm going to tell you that I had a kerfuffle with this one right here, which I'll share with you in just a second about what happened with me on this one. Now, because this one was a very last minute design. I'm like, where did it go? I'm getting vinyl pieces everywhere. But I kept thinking, well, maybe it was time to change my blade, but my blade is fairly new. And yeah, I've been cutting with these odd materials and things like that, but I don't necessarily always use my regular fine tip blade. I just switch out my blade because with the first DIY, I use my knife. Right, so I don't know, but I was having to recut like the first HTV and then make sure I got everything out. So then we came up to this one and I should have known it was going to be a problem and I knew it, but this is what ended up happening. I went to test the cut, right? And wait till you see it. I went to test the cut. I almost missed that one. I didn't even think that was a piece. And then I knew it was it really needed to be recut. But what did I do? Instead of hitting the play button, I accidentally hit the unload button. And the way I was testing it, I was making sure that this piece had cut properly and it didn't. And as soon as I hit that unload button, I was in tears. Okay, so this is a Cricut brand. I want to say it's one of their old materials, but it's not as old because I have all my Cricut vinyl in tubs. So this is very flexible. I was impressed that it was so flexible. But I don't know if I just know it's charcoal. It's like a charcoal gray. But other than that, I have no idea if it's like some kind of specialty kind of vinyl. See what I mean? It's giving me a problem now. I have no idea what's so special about it. I think I picked it just because of the color. So I knew that it wasn't cut properly. And it's probably going to give me heck now. So I went back and recut. This one isn't working. See, because you have to pick out the perfect type of tool for these things now. And I don't even know how to use this. And I did more pressure. And it did not, and I tested it and it did not cut. See what I mean? It did not cut. So After I tested it with more pressure, I was like, well, let's go back, and I hit recut. And I was like, I tested it down here. I said, okay, yeah, it cut the second time. More pressure, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it goes through twice, I believed. So I went through it twice. And look, I'm still having problems to get this stuff out, to get these middles out. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I picked this out. I told myself I need to start using the Cricut brand vinyl that's in my tub to get the tubs out of here, to clear up some space, and that's my goal. I'm gonna try my best, but every time I go to use vinyl and I just keep thinking, this is just a hassle. And now here we are. But I'm going to put some music on and let you guys watch me struggle through this other weeding project. I was hoping that it was going to be a lot better this time around, and apparently not so much. But okay, see you guys back when I'm done. Because sometimes recutting it is just a lot easier than struggling with it any more than I have to at this point. So let's go ahead and recut, and then we'll bring this back around. Okay, I decided that I wasn't even going to try to recut it in the same vinyl. I tried to look on Cricut's website to see if I could find the same one to maybe try to figure out what cut setting I should use, but I couldn't. But I think that it might be the foil material. Usually with Cricut, what I try to do is I'll go on there, and you know how in the tube it has the description, and on the sleeve I'll usually just take that and put that inside, because I'll re-roll all my material and then I'll put that inside the little when I re-roll everything up. But that one didn't have it, and it was a brand new roll, so I don't know what I did with it. But I was looking it up and I couldn't even find that color, but I found similar thing, and I think it was the foil. But I decided I'm gonna pick my battles and make my life easier and just pick another brand of vinyl. This one is my HTV Ront. It's usually it's my go-to vinyl if I want to do something small or it's got a lot of detail. I don't know why I didn't just do that, but like I was trying to say earlier, is I want to try to get rid of my Cricut stuff because it's just been sitting there, and yes, it is a hassle to use, and I could have just redone the cut from there. But in picking my battles, and I do try to say that using your tools and what you're working on is supposed to be a collaboration. I was not feeling very collaborative anymore. Between the first craft and this one, I was pretty conked out. I was over it at this point. So let me know in the comments what you guys would have done differently, if anything at all, because what a challenge that was. So you guys were able to see two different projects of mine go completely wonky, even though we did save the first one. No, we didn't. We recut that, right? We recut that. Oh my gosh. So two of my projects I ended up recutting. So you've seen me destroy two different pieces of material, even though I had already recut this. This is my second recut. So I've now cut it 3 times. So I picked one very similar. So this one is just glossy versus this metal material. So just be wary when if you're gonna still use Cricut vinyl, just check to make sure that everything is cut right. So we're just gonna throw this to the side and move on with our current project. Okay, and so let's layer this on. If you hear a lot of noise going on, it is spring and everybody's doing their thing. I haven't even finished weeding this. Oh my gosh. That should tell you a lot, right? I am just like, let's get this going. And please don't give me a hard time because I've suffered enough. I've suffered. Please ease my suffering. Like, be gentle to me now. But yes, usually I do lean towards my HTV rod when I want something that's going to be pretty easy and non-dramatic. But it looks like this one I might seriously consider, I need a new blade. And it's funny because I have plenty of blades because I've bought blades since I've had my first machine, my Explorer. So I still have all those blades that are compatible. And I bought my blades on Amazon. So you get a big amount of blades for a fraction of the cost. Yeah, I definitely need a new blade. Because even this one's giving me a tad of a problem. Which usually doesn't happen when I'm using this vinyl. But it's at least a lot easier. Alright, so I'll let you guys watch. And then I'll come back when I'm done. Okay, that's done. All right, finally, we made it. Okay, so now we can layer this on. Let's see. I'm going to have to do a little more cutting to get this in here because I'm pretty sure I made this very, very snug. There we go. My head is in the way. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that I can get this in here. And it's going to go in there. I'm going to cut this off right about here just so that I can make sure that it's going to sit right where I want it to sit. And we should be good. It's going to sit right about there. Yep, just like so. Okay, so now that we got that, we'll move that up a little bit just so that I can put our, I'm gonna piecemeal this just a bit because I didn't have I do have enough, but I didn't really want to grab another piece because I had a lot of what are they called, scrap transfer tapes, and I didn't want to grab a new one, so we're just gonna piecemeal this together so I can start using up all these scrap little bitty pieces that I have laying around in my bin. I think I've tortured you guys enough for one video that I don't need to keep fixing stuff right now. I'm going to cut this little bit of corner. go. And then after this, I can just throw away this transfer because it won't be any good anymore. That's kind of why I went with this, so that I didn't want it to disturb this very delicate surface. This is pre-painted. It's kind of delicate. It's not like when I paint it, or if you paint it yourself, that it has more grit to it. All right, getting that out, and then let's get this back where we had it, and that'll help quite a lot. All right, so I don't have the image in front of me, which I should have to help, but we're just gonna wing it because why not? And I'm gonna lift it up so I can see. That's good. Okay. Is it twisted? I have people in my house that have very good eyes for stuff if it's crooked, and they're more than likely going to tell me, but my answer is always, you can always make it yourself too. And then just always roll their eyes at me. All right, I think that's good. All right, I'm gonna stop fussing with this. All right, there's that one. I think I love the contrasting colors with the gray and the teal. It matches very well with my home. So, and this one says, he is not here, for he is risen, as he said, come see the place where the Lord lie. Matthew 28:6. Perfect. All right, so let's do some cleanup here, and then we'll do our last craft. All right, so this is going to be our last DIY. So I've got this burlap flags and my little design, and how we're gonna do this, I'm just gonna use my not Cricut mini press, just another one. And if I have this correct, if you're gonna use one of your Cricut brand heat presses, it's supposed to be for burlap 305 degrees firm pressure, but since I'm using this little one, I'm just gonna go with, let me do low pressure. And then I'm going to grab my Teflon sheet, and I am going to grab another one. The reason I'm going to grab a second one is because this burlap has a material on the back, and it's kind of plasticky, and I'm kind of worried that it's gonna melt. It probably won't, because I've worked on similar materials before, but to protect this, I'm just gonna use this one behind it so that it doesn't do anything to my little mat right here. So that's what we're gonna do for this one. Now, this has 6 flags, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't even take it out. I just saw that it had 6 flags. Yes, it does. And I just partially took it out before, and so I have 6 little designs on here. Then I think I used my HTV rod, HTV rod, yeah, that's how you go. And that should be pretty much easy. I'm just gonna do a very cute bunny face for this. Quick and simple. I left the easy, simple one at the end. Oh, I need to take this off this. Very quick and simple. And that's all we're gonna do. And this is not coming off. There we go. And there's our bunny face. So we're just gonna put one on each flag, and that is it. Now there's many different ways you can do these flags, so just find a design that you like and go from there. As long as it makes you happy and gives you a nice little smile on your face, hey, we are good. All right, let's weed this out. I love that this is giving me no problem. So there's my heat press. It's all ready to go. last one. Now, when I shape this, Cricut does have similar shapes that you can use to make to size this right, and that's all you have to do for it. And I just guesstimated. I took a rough measurement of it, went from there, because the size that it says on the packaging is not exactly accurate. So just be mindful of that, and then make your design from there. I didn't want it to be too big. I didn't want it to be quite small, to be honest. And just put it on there. Now, this might end up in my daughter's room because she always wants to decorate for the whatever holiday is going on. So my plan is to make another one of these using the other flag. I keep calling it a flag. You guys know what it is. So I'm going to see which one she wants to keep. Oh, that went everywhere. So that's how we're going to do this. Now, let me move this out the way so that I can get this exactly how I want it. We didn't even have to use any weeding tools on this project. Yay for me. Okay. Let me get this out of my way too. Okay, so let's get the first 3 on here. I think I'm just going to put them pretty much down here. So it won't be nothing, you know, too elaborate. I just want it to be cute. Now, you don't have to use black, of course not. I just thought black would look nice on here. I also considered using white, but for some reason I went with black because I think white would have gotten lost. But maybe I'm wrong. White actually might look very nice on this, but for some reason I went with black. I just need to take this off a bit. Okay. The backing on this is sticky. It's just for some reason, because this is such a weird material, a textured material. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. So what I am going to do is I'm just gonna put these on here really quickly and put this down. I probably should have grabbed that bigger Teflon. And let's just preheat this. We don't need to preheat it for very long. Just a quick preheat. And since it's a banner, I'm not expecting this to be on here precise, because by the time you hang it up, the angle that you put it on, you won't be able to tell that they're not in the exact same position. So that's okay. Okay, so let's move this one over. Get this one on there. I'm gonna try to put it as close to each other, as close to the same position as possible. And I'm just eyeballing these, to be honest with you. All right. Now let's see if this one went down. It did. Still kind of cool. I mean warm. So let's go ahead and do the next ones and let that cool off. All right, so that's all done. And let's go ahead and, these should be all nice and cool. Let's make sure these are down. And then we're gonna add another, we're gonna press them down again because it's burlap and it's coming up. It did a really good job because you can see I do have some areas that need to be pressed again. But for the most part, I think it did really well. So because I have this sheet, my Teflon sheet, I'm just gonna put that on there and apply it, heat directly on there without the carrier sheet. But if you want to use the carrier sheet, if you need to, just put this back on over it and then reapply your heat very carefully, like so, and then you'll be good to go. And then let's go ahead and do the rest. You can see it, how it's indented into the material, all the material. You can see the, what is this, the texture into there, into your HTV, and that's a good sign. So let's go ahead and do the rest of these. I like these faces. They were just absolutely beautiful. They're just so cute. They really are. Simple and cute. There we go. Now you're probably gonna ask, why don't I just heat it up and then remove it? Because I am tugging some of the HTV up. After you do your initial tug, it is hard on the HTV, so I'd rather just take it off now, since for the most part it is down, and then use my Teflon sheet instead of my carrier sheet to apply my heat. That way that I don't have that next tug on there with the carrier sheet, and it's just my Teflon sheet. Plus my Teflon sheet really does protect against that heat, and it does a really good job at that. So when I'm done, I'll probably just apply just a little bit more heat on the back of it. So we'll do that. I got some vinyl right there. This one didn't do a good job whatsoever, so this one I am going to do the whole thing, because that one didn't lay down at all. So let's see if I just didn't do well on these towards the end. Let's grab it from this angle and see what I did. Okay, that's better. And I am applying a little bit more pressure on it to make sure that it goes down really well. After that, you won't have any issues. So now that all of these are good, I'm going to flip them over. I don't know where I started. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just going to apply just a quick heat on the back, just to secure it. And I want to be careful, because remember I said the back has that little plastic piece, so that's definitely why you want to be real careful with this part right here. You definitely don't want to melt that, because that's pretty much what's holding this stiff. And I think our little bunny faces, you can almost think that they're cat faces, huh? Or are there? There they go. What do you guys think? All 6 are done. I don't think I have any trouble areas in any of them. Let me go back and look. Nope, they're all secured. Nothing's lifting. If you can see the texture in your HTV, that's a very good sign, like I said earlier. So that means that that HTV is really embedded inside the material. Let me see. Nope, that's not lifting either. And we're good to go. All right, so let's go ahead and clean this up, and then we'll go ahead and pull all the items together so we can wrap this video up. All right, rollers, we are done. Mission accomplished. Thank you for going through this with me, taking this ride of almost anything that can happen in a video happen. You have watched me destroy some HTV, some vinyl, recut. It has been one amazing trip in today's video. But I've noticed that we have a color palette theme going on between the teal blues and the grays, so that is absolutely awesome. I didn't even notice that while I was setting everything up because I had everything scattered everywhere. But this is amazing. Even though this one gave me some headaches, I absolutely love it. I had it on the other side of the room, and I love the way this, I call it a neon pink. I think that's what it's called, but it looks stunning against this galvanized gray. And then this bunny burlap flag, whatever it's called, I'm calling it a burlap hanging flag, looks absolutely super adorable. It's probably my favorite today. And then our little eggs, I think they look so pretty against this color. And then our Easter bunny egg, beaded egg against this rounded tray. I'm going to hang it up on one of probably my dining room, I'm not sure yet. And then of course our last one for He Has Risen is also one of my favorites. It's not very simple, but it states the entire purpose for what Easter is. So there is everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if nothing else, that you have learned and what it's all about with the struggles, because I'm going to keep everything that we did, how I struggled with it, so that you guys can see that it's not just you that struggle with your vinyl projects or your HTV projects. All right, rollers, thank you so much. And if you have not yet subscribed, go ahead and do so and give me a thumbs up. That will really help my channel. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.